Hi, everyone. My name is JoeSandra Odunze, and I'm the founder at Corporate Minority. At Corporate Minority, our goal is to provide young professionals the tools and resources needed to begin and excel in their careers. As part of that goal, we try to feature individuals from different professions to share their experiences in hopes that it'll inspire or guide others on their career path. I'm excited that today we have Jesse Iwuji, a professional NASCAR driver and entrepreneur. He has humbly agreed to join us here today to share his insight and experience and even advice about what he's learned on his professional journey. So I want to introduce Jesse.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, so we can kind of dive right into this. You've done quite a lot in your career so far, from your bachelor's to the Navy, football, and now NASCAR. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah. So originally from Dallas, Texas. I grew up there. Both of my parents are immigrants from Nigeria. So they came over from Nigeria back in the 80s before settling in Texas and having me and my two brothers and my sister. And growing up in Texas, everyone knows football is like the biggest thing there. So I grew up, with a big goal of going off to college and playing college football. So in high school, I worked really hard to put myself in that position to even get recruited by different schools. And throughout high school, I was working really, really hard and grinding every single day. And then finally, during my senior year, the Naval Academy started recruiting me to come over there and play football. And I looked at it as a great opportunity to go to a really good school, get a great education, be able to play football for a great team, and then also when I graduate, be able to start my career as a U.S. naval officer. So it was a win in all different ways. I went to the Naval Academy, played there all 4 years, graduated in 2010. And then when I graduated, I became a surface warfare officer. And as a surface warfare officer, we're the guys who are on the ships operating them each day. So my first 4 years in the Navy, I was on two different ships. I went on two different deployments with those ships. And then after the second deployment, I transitioned from sea duty to shore duty. And on shore duty, that's basically when I'm more on land, doing stuff on land and not out at sea anymore. During that time, really kind of rising up to that time, I was really developing this passion for cars and racing. And right after my second deployment, I just made this crazy decision that I wanted to go after racing. Like I wanted to, while still being in the Navy, I wanted to become a professional race car driver. And I wrote it on my whiteboard. I had a whiteboard on my wall and I put the goal on there. Like, this is my number one goal, become a pro driver. And that's where the journey began. And through that, it was through a lot of grind and research to figure out, how do I get into the sport? How do I get into racing? What racing series do I want to race in? Where am I going to go with this? And it was just all planning and trying different things and meeting people, networking, going to tracks, meeting teams, meeting people. And then slowly, little things started coming together, because when you put your energy and focus towards something, the universe starts opening up paths and putting doors in front of you that you can finally go through that you never saw before. Like, people always say, oh, this person just got lucky. No, that this person put a lot of focus and energy towards something. And when you do that, all of a sudden, magic doors literally start appearing. And all of a sudden, your path it becomes a little bit more clear. So that's what I did, and basically worked my way up from the lowest level of stock car racing, which is late model stock cars in 2015. Now I'm racing in the NASCAR Truck Series, and I'm getting ready to make my first start in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, which is the second highest level of NASCAR. And I'm doing it as the only service member who is currently racing in the top three levels of NASCAR.
Nice. So you took, I think we can all agree, you took a pretty untraditional route to get into NASCAR. How did you manage to kind of stay ahead, even though you didn't necessarily have all the experience that other racers had?
Yeah, it definitely is not a conventional route to get into. I mean, most people, when they start racing like age 5 or 6 in go-karts, and then they start working their way up different series for the next 15 years or so of their life. Whereas for me, I was 27, had never raced before, and I was just like, I'm going to go get into this. So for me, what I had to do to be able to even be on anyone's level is I spent a lot of time on my racing simulator. So I went on Craigslist one day and I bought a race seat, a steering wheel, pedals, a shifter, and got a really good computer. And I downloaded this software called iRacing. And iRacing has this simulator software for racing, which simulates real life racing, and it does it very, very well. I mean, it is almost identical to real life without being in a real car and feeling the heat and stuff like that. But it's very, very good, very close to real life, and I train myself on there every day. I mean, every single week I was putting hours and hours and hours of training. And I've been doing that for the last 5 years. There hasn't been like a week that's gone by that I haven't been on my sim. So I'm every day I'm on that thing just training. And that's my little thing that I do just to give myself an opportunity to be able to even compete with anyone on the track.
Okay. And in addition to the racing simulator, are there other resources that are available for someone who may be looking to get into this profession and, they don't really know a lot about it?
Other resources, there's not any other resources that you really have at home. But the other way to really get any kind of racing experience is maybe go, you can do lower level racing series. You can go join different go-kart series. You can go race on dirt tracks, different things that you can race that are a little bit less expensive than NASCAR. Actually, a lot less expensive than NASCAR. You can go do those different things, and that's what will help give you racing experience so that you can move up and run the series that you do want to run. But a lot of people do that stuff. Go-kart racing is like the biggest way of getting track experience without spending a ton of money.
Okay, that makes sense. And is there something you wish you would have known earlier in your career, or you would have done differently that you've learned from?
I would say earlier, I would say try not to move as fast. Like, when I first got into it, I was just trying to, quickly blow through, the different ranking structure so I can get up to the top. And that didn't work out very well early. So I had to slow down and really learn racing and learn what I was doing and all that stuff. And once I did that, things got a lot better. But yeah, I would say just, don't rush it. Even though a lot of people will say, oh yeah, you started really late in life. Well, who cares? Like, there's no law in NASCAR that says you have to be this age to enter, or you can't be older than this age to work your way up the ranks. No, there's no, in any sport, there is none. It's just, as long as you know how to race, you can drive and you can do it well then you can, continue to move up. So, I would tell myself, just slow down, take it easy. Don't let people's talk get into your head, because all these people who are talking are people who never did it.
Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So what is your favorite part about being a NASCAR driver?
I would say my favorite part is just having a platform that we have to be able to bring positive change to people's lives, being able to do things that positively affect people's lives. We'll do a lot of great things with kids, wounded vets, different veterans, all that stuff. That's where the enjoyment that I find in it, because anytime you can do good stuff for people like that and see the smile on their face or their family's face, it means the world to me. So having the platform to be able to do that is awesome. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I like about racing in NASCAR.
Okay, and then let's switch gears a little bit. So you are an entrepreneur as well. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, entrepreneur. I have a couple businesses right now that I run. One of them is an events company where I put on drag racing events at different local tracks in Southern California. Also do some in Arizona and Dallas now. And then also I have a trucking business where me and my brothers, we started this thing together where we have semi-trucks on the road right now, and they haul goods for Amazon mainly. So we've been doing that for the last almost 2 years now. And it's been going pretty well. It's been growing a lot. This year it definitely grew a lot more. And we're just trying to keep it going where it's at. I think the next industry that I'm also going to get into is the real estate industry. I really want to start, picking up different properties and trying different strategies for different ones. So that's something that we're slowly diving into right now. But I'm just trying to build my own little mini empire and grow it so that I can be financially free.
Nice. Real estate is definitely the key. I'm actually doing the same. So yeah, that's a really good theme there. So in addition to that, so starting a business is not an easy thing to do, and it can be very stressful and daunting. Is there any advice you would give to young professionals or young entrepreneurs that are really trying to get into, entrepreneurship?
Yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of advice I could give, but for any young entrepreneur getting into a business, one, see yourself as a grinder. You have to be a grinder. You are the boss, and don't look at it as this is your easy, quick way to go be able to, sleep on a beach while, money's just being made all the time. It just doesn't work like that at first, at least. So you got to grind. Understand that you work all hours of the day. There is no, oh man, my hours are only 8 to 5 p.m. That's an employee mindset. When you become an owner, you from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep at night, you are working all day, all night, 7 days a week. That's how it is. You have to be comfortable with that. If you're uncomfortable with that, you're not going to be an entrepreneur. Every single day, you have to be ready for working your business and doing stuff with it. I'm not saying you got to be in the office 7 days a week, 365, but you're constantly doing stuff. You're answering emails, answering calls, making calls, networking with people, going to different events, doing different things. It's constantly on. It has to be an extension. It's your third arm. Your business now becomes your third arm. Like you have to make sure you nurture it, make sure you're taking care of it every single day. Understand that it's not easy at all. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be a lot of rough times, a lot of dark patches throughout it. And during that darkness, you have to understand that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. As long as you put a lot of focus energy towards it, as long as you're grinding towards it, you're trying to be creative every day to find some new way to get ahead. You're networking, you're just doing stuff every single day, and you refuse to quit. Like, you will not quit. Nothing will stop you. You'll get to that light. Just have faith throughout that whole darkness that the light's there. Like, God puts a vision in our head of what we need to do, what we need to accomplish, and where we're going to be. Once he puts that vision in the head, basically what he's saying is like, hey, like the vision's done. Like, the goal is done. The goal is here. It already created it for you. Now all you have to do is just trust, which is faith, that as you're going through these dark paths and you can't really see it anymore, just trust that it's going to be there. Already put it in your head, so it's done. Like, it's done. You're going to get there. Just trust me as you're going through this thing that you're gonna end up getting there. So that's the biggest thing, is the mindset part of it. Like, you got to get your mind in the right place. I know there's all these YouTube videos on 5 steps to start your own business, 5 steps to making money, 5 steps to blah, blah, blah. All those steps, nothing matters. Nothing matters if your mindset isn't in the right place. It has to be a place where you are willing to put all hours, all effort into this business all the time, no matter what. You are willing to lose it all because you know your mindset's in a place where you can gain it right back. When you get into that kind of mindset where literally nothing can stop you except death, you're dangerous.
Nice. That is great advice. And I feel inspired just listening to it. So thank you for that. And then talking about diversity, and you're one of few NASCAR drivers that are African-American. And I know a lot of people experience that within their professions or being in a certain program and being one of few African-Americans. Is there something that you do to kind of keep you focused, not let that keep you down? Or is there anything that you're doing to kind of increase that diversity or things around that? Do you want to talk to that?
Yeah, right now I'm one of 2 African-Americans racing in the top 3 levels of NASCAR. And yeah, it's definitely different being like only 2 of us. But for me, definitely trying to continue to spread diversity, try and use the platform to spread goodness into people and show people, hey, there is a pathway to get into this. It's not easy, but here's what I did. I have this huge write-up that I send to people, and people reach out to me asking me, hey, how to get into racing. I send them this, and it's like multiple pages of stuff, but it's notes I've taken over the years on, hey, if you're someone like me who didn't come from the racing world, who didn't have a lot to begin with, who just was kind of just a normal working guy who just, had a good job, but, normal working guy, but in the Navy, I showed them, hey, this is the path I took, this is what I did. And I was like, this is kind of your starter to get you going. From here, you got to be the creative one to figure out how this path is going to work for you and how you can change it up a little bit so that it works with you and your resources and what you got going on and where you want to go. So I send that to people a lot, and that's kind of what I use to try to help bring diversity, because all different kind of people reach out to me. Black, white, Mexican, Asian, you name it, everyone reaches out to me. So I use this to help people because they're all coming from where I did. Just don't know where to go, didn't have a ton of resources to start, and just want to get into something that they're passionate about. So I'm doing that to help out a lot. I speak at a lot of events, different events for all different kinds of groups, and I try to, once again, spread positive, unified type messages to these people. And anything I can do to help, that's what I'm here for.
Nice, thank you. And then as we keep going and get closer to the end of the interview, what are some things that you do to keep yourself motivated? So being an entrepreneur, being a professional driver, there's a lot on your plate right now. And there are going to be times, just because you're human, that, you feel a little tired or drained. What are some things that you use as a pick-me-up to say, all right, I know things are hard right now, but I need to keep going forward?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know. I don't have a ton of pick-me-ups, except I just, in my mind, what I think is like, hey, like, there's only me. No one's coming to save me right now. only me. Like I have to get to the end. So that's why I grind. And you know, you once again, that's what I was saying earlier. You got to get yourself into a mindset that no one else is at. Like the regular crowd of people, most normal people out there, they need some type of external thing to keep them motivated and to push them forward or whatever. Not saying that that's wrong. I mean, there's good external factors to also have and keep you motivated. Don't let those external factors be the only thing. Like it all has to come from internal. You have to be the weapon. You are the weapon. You can't have other stuff be your help and your weapons. It's like you have to be the weapon. You have to be the one that no matter what, you are in this dangerous mindset where absolutely nothing is going to keep you from going. You will keep going no matter what. Like if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. If you can't crawl, then just whatever you got to do. But you got to keep exactly whatever you can do. You got to get yourself in that mindset. When you do, all those times when you get tired and it's like, oh man, I don't have the energy, or man, it's been a really frustrating day. Like you look at it and you're like, you know what? Like no one else is coming to save me. As bad as it might have been today, no one is coming to save me. No one cares. No one is here for me for it. I mean, I got people who care about me, honestly, but no one truly cares. So you have to be the one that has to be internal, and that's why I said you got to get in that mindset. Screw everything else. All the other stuff people talk about, going to school, it doesn't matter. It's here. Mindset, get this right, and then you can do anything else. And then also just remember, even in the darkest point of the night, the sun will still rise. So no matter how crazy it might get, setbacks are setups for phenomenal comebacks.
Nice. Well, that was actually my next question. I was going to ask, is there a quote or your favorite saying that keeps you going?
There's a bunch of the other one, the biggest one I love is never let someone's opinion of you become your reality. And that's something I heard from Les Brown. And that's for all of us, because when we all go into our different pathways towards whatever entrepreneurship goals or whatever goals we want in life, usually, when you're trying to go after something big, it's something that most people around you probably have never achieved. And those people can't even see it for themselves. So a lot of people will try to bring you down, try to tell you, oh no, don't go after that. That's too lofty, or it's a pipe dream, or blah, 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 blah. Like if it was a vision put in your head and you have the level of effort needed to go after it, and I didn't say talent or resources, I just said effort, because effort's like if you have that effort and you're ready to go, don't let other people bring you down. All these people who are going to try to bring you down are all people who never did it. So how can you listen to them? It's like if I'm sick or if I have a broken bone, why would I not listen to a doctor? Like I would only go to a doctor. I wouldn't go to my friends to be like, hey, can you analyze my broken bone and see if it's broken and this part of fractured here, or is it a fracture, or is it this, or is that? I wouldn't go to them. So why would I let these people tell me where I can go or what's supposed to be happening? I would only listen to myself, because I have a vision. I know where I'm supposed to go. Like they weren't given that vision. Only me. That's it. So never let other people's opinion of you become your reality. It happens to too many people all the time, and you can't do that. You can't let that happen.
I love that. I actually have that quote hanging up on my wall too. So that's a really good one to kind of live by. I want to thank you so much, Jesse Iwuji, for joining us today. I really appreciate your time and effort. And is there somewhere that people can kind of reach out to you at, or if people want to get to know more about you, where should they go?
Yeah, they can head to my website, jesseiwuji.com. That's JESSEIWUJI.com. If they can't remember that, just go to Google and type in Navy NASCAR driver. If you type that in, you'll see my name pop up. Go check it out. I have some new partners on board helping me out with the racing stuff, Mile Marker 10 and G2X. So make sure you check out those guys. They're in the government contracting space, helping people who are looking to get into government contracting, get their entrepreneurship stuff going, get their goals and their business going, and getting into the government contracting space. They're here to give them a one-stop shop for those people so that they can have all the resources, all the e-learning they need, everything they need to get going in that space and build a business in government contracting. So those guys have jumped on board and partnered with me now. And, anyone's looking to get into the government contracting space, check out Mile Marker 10.
Awesome. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today at Corporate Minority. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have a lot more career resources coming your way. And thank you again to Jesse for joining us and sharing so much insight and your experience with us. It is genuinely appreciated.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.